Are you looking for a way to take control of your emotions and feel calmer, more centered and more fulfilled? The Sedona Method could be the answer. This video will explain in detail what the Sedona Method is and how it can benefit you. You'll learn about the unique releasing technique developed by the founders of the Sedona Method, Hale Dwoskin and Lester Levinson, which allows you to quickly identify and release unhelpful thoughts and feelings. There are 5 ways you can use to finally let go of your emotions, right from the start to the end of the process. All 5 will lead to the releasing of your natural ability of releasing any unwanted emotion on the spot, and letting some of the repressed energy in your subconscious to dissipate. The first technique is by getting rid of the adverse emotion. The second way is to welcome the emotion, to allow us to acknowledge and accept the difficult emotion. The third technique would be to delve deeper into the emotion, so you might be able to profoundly understand the thought that gave rise to it. The fourth method is by disentwining the opposing opposites that exist. The fifth approach is by seeing through the emotion to the peaceful mindful awareness that is right behind it. Let me demonstrate another way of looking at the issue for you, so I want you to please take part in this activity. Pick up a pen, a pencil, or even the smallest object that you would be happy to drop without a second thought. Now, hold it in front of you and actually grip it with your full effort. Perhaps you feel that your hand represents your gut or your conscious thought. If you grip the object long enough, this would become progressively uncomfortable yet familiar. When you open your hand and breathe in the object rolling around inside it, you'll notice that you are still the one holding it. Your feelings are the same way. It is as if you are holding everything. We hold our emotions and forget about holding them. It's also in our language. When we feel angry or sad, we usually don't say, "I feel angry," or, "I feel sad." We say, "I am angry," or, "I am sad." Without realizing it, we mistake ourselves for what we believe to be the feeling. Often we believe we are a certain feeling. This is simply not true. We do not always control our lives. Now, let the object go. What happened? You let go of the object, and it dropped to the floor. Was that hard? Of course not. That's what we mean when we say let go. You can do the same thing with any emotion, choose to let it go. If you walked with your hand open, wouldn't it be very difficult to hold on the pen or the object you were holding? Likewise, when you allow or welcome a feeling, you are opening your awareness, which makes it possible for the feeling to drop away on its own like the clouds at sunset or smoke up a fireplace with the flue open. It feels as if you're opening up a pressure cooker. Now, if you took the same object, a pencil, pen, or pebble, and magnified it large enough, it would appear more and more like empty space. You would be looking into the gaps between the molecules and atoms. When you dive into the very core of a feeling, you will observe a comparable phenomenon: nothing is really there. As you master the technique of releasing, you will discover that even your deepest feelings are just on the surface. At the core you are empty, silent, and at peace, not in the pain and darkness that most of us would assume. In fact, even our most extreme feelings have only as much substance as a soap bubble. And you know what happens when you poke your finger into a soap bubble? It pops. That's exactly what happens when you dive into the core of a feeling. Please keep these 3 analogies in mind as we go through the releasing process together. Releasing will help you to free yourself from all of your unwanted patterns of behavior, thought, and feeling. All that is required from you is being as open as you can be to the process. Releasing is a simple technique will free you to access clearer thinking, yet it is not a thinking process. Although it will help you to access heightened creativity, you don't need to be particularly creative to be effective at doing it. You will get the most out of the process of releasing the more you allow yourself to see, hear, and feel it working, rather than by thinking about how and why it works. Lead, as best you can, with your heart, not your head. If you find yourself getting a little stuck in trying to figure it out, you can use the identical process to let go of wanting to figure it out. Guaranteed, as you work with this process, You will understand it more fully by having the direct experience of doing it. So here we go. Choosing to let go. Make yourself comfortable and focus inwardly. Your eyes may be open or closed. Step 1. Focus on an issue that you would like to feel better about, and then allow yourself to feel whatever you are feeling in this moment. This doesn't have to be a strong feeling. In fact, you can even check on how you feel about this exercise and what you want to get from it. Just welcome the feeling and allow it to be as fully or as best you can. This instruction may seem simplistic, but it needs to be. Most of us live in our thoughts, pictures, and stories about the past and the future, rather than being aware of how we actually feel in this moment. The only time that we can actually do anything about the way we feel, and, for that matter, about our businesses or our lives, is now. You don't need to wait for a feeling to be strong before you let it go. In fact, if you are feeling numb, flat, blank, cut off, or empty inside, those are feelings that can be let go of just as easily as the more recognizable ones. Simply do the best you can. The more you work with this process, the easier it will be for you to identify what you are feeling. Step 2. Ask yourself one of the following 3 questions. Could I let this feeling go? Could I allow this feeling to be here? Could I welcome this feeling? These questions are merely asking you if it is possible to take this action. Yes or no are both acceptable answers. You will often let go even if you say no. As best you can, answer the question that you choose with a minimum of thought, staying away from second-guessing yourself or getting into an internal debate about the merits of that action or its consequences. All the questions used in this process are deliberately simple. They are not important in and of themselves but are designed to point you to the experience of letting go, to the experience of stopping holding on. Go on to step 3 no matter how you answered the first question. Step 3, no matter which question you started with, ask yourself this simple question: would I? In other words, am I willing to let go? Again, stay away from debate as best you can. Also remember that you are always doing this process for yourself, for the purpose of gaining your own freedom and clarity. It doesn't matter whether the feeling is justified, long-standing, or right. If the answer is no, or if you are not sure, ask yourself, would I rather have this feeling, or would I rather be free? Even if the answer is still no, go on to step 4. Step 4, ask yourself this simple question: when? This is an invitation to just let it go now. You may find yourself easily letting go. Remember that letting go is a decision you can make anytime you choose. Step 5, repeat the preceding 4 steps as often as needed until you feel free of that particular feeling. You will probably find yourself letting go a little more on each step of the process. The results at first may be quite subtle. Very quickly, if you are persistent, the results will get more and more noticeable. You may find that you have layers of feelings about a particular topic. However, what you let go of is gone for good.